So a couple days ago I talked about some huge allegations levied against the co-host of Game Grumps, Dan Avidan. And in that video, based on the evidence, I said that the allegations are most likely false. And only a day after the allegations came out, we got confirmation of that being the case. The person who brought these allegations to life, Rue Pastel, tweeted out, "Okay, I did some more research last night and came to the conclusion that the Reddit thread really didn't have the most trustworthy evidence aside from maybe the video. But the video doesn't prove anything about grooming. So far it seems like Dan using a groupie for sex, which is still shitty, but I'm not sure if there was grooming involved. If there's any other evidence around, I would love to see it, but I want to apologize for that thread getting so out of hand yesterday. It's not what I wanted at all. I was just sharing a warning, but that's no excuse. I'm really sorry for the mess that happened yesterday. I've deleted the thread. If you are mad at me, then that's completely understandable. You have every right to be upset, and I'm sorry." So yeah, essentially a complete 180 from the thread we read a couple days ago, accusing Danny of pretty serious stuff. Now, as ridiculous as the original accusation was, and despite how much I disagree with her posting it in the first place, I do want to commend Donnie here for at least owning up to the mistake, deleting it, and apologizing. It's the least she could do, but honestly, most people online don't even do that. Anyways, we also have a statement directly from Danny. He sent this statement via the Game Grumps PR team that was given to various news articles. In it, he says, "I stand by the fact that any interactions that took place of a sexual nature with the person in question were done so when she was 22 years old, and we were both consenting adults. To claim I have engaged in any predatory behavior is simply untrue. I have made mistakes in the past, and I apologize if my actions or words ever made anyone upset, but those mistakes were never ill-intentioned, exploitive, or illegal in any capacity." So a really important and concise response from Dan here. I have to commend him for the way he responded too. Instead of perpetuating it and making it a big deal on social media, he decided to let his PR team handle it, and just give a small statement for some news articles that people may come across. All the while continuing to upload on Game Grumps as if nothing ever happened, so that fans of their channel who aren't on Twitter and aren't up to date on this stuff don't notice that they're not uploading, look it up, and then become up to date on false information. A problem in the past that I feel like creators who are falsely accused often fall into is letting the accusation affect their regular upload schedule, which indirectly notifies their fan base of the controversy because the people waiting for the new uploads will look up the person to see what is going on. I'm not saying to ignore the drama, it's important to address it like Dan did here, but I find the way the information is presented, whether that be the accusation or the response, is sometimes more important than the accusation itself. For example, the reason everybody jumped on the Dan is a pedo, Dan is a groomer train is not because of the information, but how it was presented. In the thread that blew this up, it started with the words pedophilia and grooming. You then see the hot tub video proving that Dan was talking to an individual in a sexual way. You see that that message was sent in 2017, and then you see that they met in 2013. Based on all that information in that order, you would conclude that Dan met this person at 14 only to fuck them at 18, because when you see pedophilia and grooming, you assume that the perpetrator would want to fuck them as soon as they turn legal age. I mean, that's the whole point of grooming after all. But if you look a little deeper and go to the original Reddit thread, you can see that they include a message where the person is wished a happy 18th birthday, also in 2013, meaning that Dan met this person when they were about to turn 18, and it turned sexual 4 years later when she was 22, which completely changes the entire situation. And we are actually so lucky that the person who posted the original Reddit thread included that image, because if they didn't, these accusations would be so much more serious, and the fallout would be so much bigger. That piece of information, her turning 18 in 2013, is absolutely vital, because it's the difference between meeting 14 fucking 18 and meeting 18 fucking 22. Completely different scenarios. The difference between legal and illegal activity. And that Reddit post could have existed without that message. And if it did, and there was no way to find out when this girl turned 18 because all of the names were redacted from the images, there's no way to like look it up on Facebook or whatever, videos on the topic would be singing a very different tune. Everybody, including myself, would be under the assumption that Dan actually might have groomed somebody. Especially since you hear Dan's voice in that hot tub video. That video being presented presented so early on in the allegations, alongside the words grooming and pedophilia, is why people had such a visceral reaction on Twitter. A lot of people in my last video on this topic were saying in the comment section, how the hell are people reacting this volatile? How are people saying they are fans of Game Grumps for so long and are disgusted by the situation, but don't even bother to look into it deep enough to find out that Dan is innocent? And while I can't defend them fully because the proof was there that Dan was innocent if you look deep enough, I can kind of understand the over-the-top reaction due to the way the information was presented and the order of which stuff was shown. I mean, the Reddit thread was linked in a quote tweet to someone else linking the Reddit thread at the very bottom of like the 5 or 6 tweet thread filled with the accusations. And then you have to go into that Reddit post and click specifically on one of the 5 links and then put 2 and 2 together of what age she is, and not a lot of people are going to go to that extent if they are just normal people commenting on Twitter, not making a YouTube video about it. So now that we've established that information presentation when it comes to allegations is sometimes more important than the actual information itself, I think it's important to use this newly gained knowledge to some of you people. Maybe some of you people already knew this in the comments, but regardless, to the people who are unaware of how information being presented in a certain way can skew the perception of the information itself, we need to take this into account for every single drama. A lot of the times when drama does a 180, like for example in the Slazo situation, the Pro Jared situation, the James Charles situation, etc., all of those guys had a possibility of being innocent based on the information just raw, but it looked unlikely due to how the information was presented, whether it be through Tatty for James Charles, I'm Alex for Slazo, or Pro Jared's ex-wife. I'm not saying to believe all allegations to come out as false automatically, but try to separate the information from the accuser and think through the information to see if there's a possibility of it being false or true before making any definitive statements. Or, you know, you can just keep calling James Charles a predator without definitive proof either way, like Ethan Klein does.
But when they come here and they co-sign James Charles, they say, oh, it's okay to associate with him. The dude is a known predator. Straight up.
James Charles is extremely careless and irresponsible for letting this situation happen, and people should definitely be critical of him. But according to his post, he was lied to about the person being 18, and once he admitted he was 16, he apologized and cut contact. Based on this, we can call him a careless dumbass, but calling him a predator is a little over the top, because that implies that he seeks out children specifically, and he only wants to date someone who is under 18. Of course, he could be lying here. I mean, the accuser claims that he knew he was 16 and continued flirting anyways, but we don't have any definitive proof on whether he did or didn't know, so it's really irresponsible to call him a known predator. Just like it was really irresponsible for everybody on Twitter to call Dan a groomer. But that's just my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the situation in the comment section below, and to just give your general feedback on this video. I normally just read tweets, and this type of commentary is a new thing for me, so letting me know if you enjoy it or not, or what I can improve, would go a long way. Speaking of which, if you liked the video, let me know by pressing the like button, and of course, if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on. Thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel, in particular Scrubby, who decided to donate $100 a month. That is absolutely insane. Thank you so much, dude. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.